The war with Earth didn't go so great, no. Next question. The old Klautok veteran grumbled his answer and looked around the class for another Klautok student with a claw raised, and a question not so distressing. The students, however, responded to this non-answer by all of them raising their claws excitedly. "So, you want to know more?" the old warfighter said dejectedly as the class positively thrummed with excitement. Kids today, always wanting to hear about the humans. He began to unfold the story, as he's told many times before. First contact with the humans. The students fall silent, rapt and eager, hissing quietly at each other at the smallest sound or distraction. By all rights, it was our planet, won through right of conquest. It wasn't even a very important farming planet with only a small temperate zone. The old honoured veteran begins. Farming planet MST 3333 was a dust ball with a massive underground freshwater ocean. The water was pure, clean, and flowed up into nice soil, ideal for the harsh food crops of the Sindai race who colonized the planet. The Klautok found that the soil on this planet was also ideal for a favorite tea-like beverage. So naturally the Klautok Emperor blessed the Sindai colonists' souls and ordered the attack. It was fast, thorough, and no undue suffering of those ordered to die was allowed. Their bodies were treated with respect and returned to the Sindai. What the Klautok didn't know was that the Sindai recently found and befriended the humans. Mere days after scouring the planet, and before the first of the equipment arrived to begin repurposing the fields, the human ship arrived. A single, massive ship, the humans' United Earth Marine Corps. The ship deployed without warning, hundreds of ships flying out of it and into the atmosphere. The old Klautok and his battalion were guarding a key valley, behind a defensive shield wall that stops all weapons known to the galaxy. A single small ship landed far across the valley and deployed 30-40 human marines in armor. The Klautok's weapons proved largely ineffective against the marines' armor. They simply rushed forward, 2 or 3 random and spaced-out marines at a time, always advancing, always firing. An unstoppable oncoming wave of deadly accurate marines. By the time you get your rifle targeting one marine, you'd been exposed for too long. The old Klautok had watched no less than 10 of his companions in arms have their heads explode from the human marines' deadly accurate kinetic projectile weapons. A full third of the human marines peeled off from the formation, using jump jets to quickly move up into the side of the valley, gaining elevation up the hill and assuming a position to the side of the fortified shield wall. Then they rained down hell upon the Klautok's exposed flank. It was all the Klautok could do but cower and hope not to get shot. Then the main body of the platoon of marines roared loudly, heard over the massive explosions from their weapons, screaming, "Assault through!" And then they charged. The old Klautok's eyes, already dim and distant, seemed to lose all focus, and he went silent, just staring at nothing. Silence was like a heavy blanket covering the class. The students dared not make a sound, waiting to hear what happened next. His eyes snapped back into focus as he shook his head, seeming to be back in the present again. I had to do something. I watched our commander's head explode, his second-in-command, every leader of every platoon, then squad leaders. We were leaderless. The humans were going to be upon us in moments. The Klautok looked at the students, almost pleadingly, trying to get them to understand. We were doomed. He sighed. I had heard of a concept among a new species. I guessed correctly that these humans were this new species. It was a wild, unthinkable concept. Surrender, he said, the word and concept foreign in his mouth. The students whispered and mumbled excitedly. Yes, surrender, as in deciding to stop fighting, to decide to win by losing. To this day it feels wrong, but I saved all those lives. I tore my own white uniform shirt off, tied it around my rifle and told my best friend beside me my plan. He thought I was quite insane, of course. Tried to stop me, but I jumped up, above the fortified shield wall, into the flying bullets, and I waved that white flag. I'd heard that this species, the humans, would not shoot someone who is surrendering. Again, the students chattered, a bit louder this time, getting a harsh glare from the veteran. They fell back into silence. All at once, the shooting stopped. The humans halted their advance as one. It was over. I had won. By losing. I had saved the rest of the battalion's lives. A single human Marine stood up and calmly walked right up to me. He simply said that he will accept our full unconditional surrender. It took a while, but we all came home safe and alive, victorious losers. The old Klautok took questions for a while, describing how they were treated with respect and even friendliness by the human Marines. Their weapons were taken, they were each interviewed. The Marines built quarters for them for the weeks their investigation took. The Marines gave the planet back to the Sinde and helped them rebuild the farming colonies. He continued, "Then one day, the Marines told us all we were going home, immediately put us on a ship and took us to a Klautok outpost. The Marines landed, left our weapons boxed up on the ground, ushered us out of their ship, and launched back into space without so much as a goodbye." He went on to answer questions, now patiently and less gruffly, about coming home to his mate and children, and how they spent many weeks together in near constant embraces, thankful to have survived. He fondly brushed his Medal of Valor, the highest award for the bravest of heroes, given to him personally by the Emperor himself. We feared humans after that. For years our whole empire was terrified the humans would destroy us. They threatened to if we attacked their friends again, but we never did, so they never did. In fact, they established trade and wanted to become our friends. It wasn't until the Brickstick attacked one of our small farming planets that we became friends with the humans. The Brickstick killed our farmers, and so I once again did the brave thing. I went to the humans myself. I braved going into their space alone, certain they would not kill me, because I've seen their eyes full of mercy, firsthand. I went to them, and I asked them to help us. They sent the Marines, they got us back our planet, of course, and they became our closest friends and allies ever since. But that's another story, not for today. The students chattered on excitedly as the old Klautok went to the door and opened it, saying, "I have a surprise for you kids. This is Captain Johnson, United Earth Marine Corps." With that, a massive human walked into the classroom, balancing impossibly on only 2 legs, towering at twice the height of the tallest Klautok, wearing a breathtakingly perfect uniform, eyes twinkling with merriment. And in a booming voice he thundered out a friendly greeting with a smile and a wave. The kids' chattering exploded in excitement, and the teacher fainted. And that's why this recruit joined the United Earth Marine Corps, drill instructor, to be the first Klautok Marine, because there is no greater friend and no worse enemy. The young Klautok student, now grown up and the first Klautok Marine recruit, stood proudly in front of his rack at the position of attention with the massive human Marine drill instructor towering over him. His DI stared him down for the longest time. Then the DI handed the Klautok recruit back his rifle and simply said, "Carry on, recruit."